Chodesh. Today we're learning Bobekama Daf Yud Beis. So the Gemara starts 4 lines down, Daf Yud Beis Omud Aleph Gufa. Roi som rotzim achar Meciah, Omar Virmiya, Omar Rabbi Yochanan, Verush Rat Acharem Magion. Meaning that the Mishnah says that if someone saw people chasing after a broken deer or baby birds that can't fly yet, and he said, I want my sodeh to be zoich in it because the deer is in his field, and so we said his sodeh is zoich in it. So says Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Irmi on the name of Rabbi Yochanan, that's only if he could chase them and he could catch them, but if he chases them, he doesn't get them, his sodeh is not zoicha. We saw this Gemara early on, with Akdama for the next Gemara. Rabbi Irmi asked him, what's the din? What's the din in matana? If someone gives you a matana and you feel a broken deer and you can't, and he says, and this person wants to be kind of kinyan's chotza, and he can't reach them. If he chases them, he can't reach them. Is he koina? Is he not koina? Says the Gemara, Kiblo minei Rav Abba Rav Barakana Afal Pishurat Achrayim Vein Magiyom. Then matana, even if he doesn't manage to get to them, he is koina the matana, because there's das acheres makne, like we said yesterday. Boy Rava Zorak Arniki bepesach ze beyotza bepesach acher ma'u avir shein soifel onuach kemunach domi oloi. So the shaila is going to go with Toysis's pshat that Reuven threw a wallet and he said, I want to makne it to Shimon. Or he wasn't mafker it, but he wants to give it to anyone who wants to be zoicha. And he throws it through Shimon's property. It goes into one window and it goes out in the other window, and it never landed in the person's property. Do we say, so we know the din is, if it was going to land in Shimon's property, even if someone caught it before it landed in Shimon's property, once it goes into Shimon's property, Shimon's koiner it because it's going to land there. But here, because it's going to fly out the other window, and it's never stopping into Shimon's property, do we say, because it goes in the air, it's like kinyan chotza, and it's like it's landed over there? Or we say, because it's going to go out, it never landed over there, and you're not going to be kinyan chotza? Omalera popular rova, v'amalur of adabar master rova, v'amalur of inul rova. A few Gersaris who told Rava, Hainu masnisin, lav hainu masnisin, they're not like our Mishnah that says, Roi, some rotzim achar Meciah, v'omar virmiya, v'omar b'yochanan, b'ushurat achar magion, b'or virmiya, b'matona ha'eich, v'kiblo minei Rav Abba bar Kahana, b'matona afal pi shurat achar ve'in magino. So, he said, in our Mishnah, it says that if something's running around very slowly because it has a broken leg, and you're koinet bikinin chotza, and we said there has to be that you can catch it, but we said that's dafka by hefka. But if it's matona, even if you can't catch it, it's good, and you're koina. So l'chor over here, that's like matona, like we said in Toysis. So even though that's flying out the other window, it should be any difference to this tzvi shoba or goiz lo shein mafrichim, and you should be koina. Amalei, so Rava said no. Misgalgal karmers, you're bringing me a Aryeh from the Mishnah, Misgalgal, it's rolling this broken deer, the pigeons, baby pigeons are jumping around. Shiny Misgalgal, the kemunach domi. It could be very well that something that's rolling in your field, even though that it's going to go out of the field and continue outside, then you're koina because it's touching the ground. But here we're talking about when he threw the wallet, and it was never touched the ground. It went straight through one window to the other window, all the way in the air. And there I'm asking a shaila, and you can't bring me a Aryeh for something that's rolling on the ground of your chotza. And therefore, we don't have an answer to the shaila. Says the Mishnah, Metzias bnoyu bito yaktanim. If a young child or young daughter of a person finds something, Metzias abdoi v'shivchosei aknanim, his slaves, male or female, non-Jewish slaves, Metzias ishtoi, your wife finds something, Aryeh sheloi belongs to you. Metzias bnoi ubito yakdoilim, your adult over bar mitzvah and bas mitzvah kids found something, or Metzias avdoi v'shivchosei ivrim, Jewish slaves, male and female, Metzias ishtoi shegirsha, if your wife, they divorced already, afal pi sheloi nosang ksuvasa, even if you didn't give her a ksuva yet, and there's still a connection between them, still the din in all these cases, Aryeh l'shalein, it doesn't go to the father, to the master, to the husband, it goes to the people themselves. Says the Gemara, Omar Shmuel, mipnei ma omru Meciah koton la'aviv, shebeshah shemoitzo, meritza etel aviv ve'ino me'acher b'yodoi. Says Shmuel, what's the reason that cotton and a ktano, that find something, it goes to the parents, is because they don't have a kinyan, because straight when they pick it up, they don't have a das to be koine themselves, and they straight away give it to the parents, to their father, and therefore they don't have a kinyan, so therefore it goes to the parents, to the father of koine the Meciah. Says the Gemara, Lemeimra, we could see the Sova Shmuel cotton lesses chile nafshe midiraisa. We could see that Shmuel holds that cotton is not can't be zoiche in something, because if it would be zoiche in something, he wouldn't give it to his father. But we learned in the Braisa, zoiche sapoyel, someone who rented the work, yelaket no yachrov, and now there is din of shikha, peo, or all the more like shikha, and so the kid, so again, Reuven has a field, and he rented Shimon to work in his field to collect the tevua. And Shimon, so we say, the Brisa said that the kids of Shimon could collect after him, and anything that he forgets, they could pick up and be zoich in it, because it's told me that these kids and the Shimon is a oni. But if Shimon is not paid by hour, he has a partnership in the field, and he gets paid. He's an oris. He gets paid half the produce, a third or a quarter. In that case, the kid is not allowed to collect after his father, because he's considered the osher. Rabbi Yossi Oima, whatever happens, yeah, the kid could collect, even if he's the father's oris, the kid could collect. Because even though that the father's a usher, the kid is ani, and the kid zoiche for himself. Shmuel said halacha like Rabbi Yossi, that even in Mechza Shlishi Ruvia, the kid could collect after his father who's working in the field. If you're going to tell me that cotton could be zoicha, if it makes sense, when this kid is picking it up, he's picking it up for himself. And then he gives it to his father, the present. Oni who's zoicha and shikha, he could give it to a rich person afterwards. It becomes totally his. So also here, the kid zoicha, and then he gives it to his father. If a cotton can't be zoicha for himself, when he's picking this up, he's picking up for his father. And the father, the Aryeh, is a partner in this field. How could he be zoicha and give it to his father? His father is not allowed to collect, and he doesn't have a schia. And we said Shmuel holds a cotton less schia, so it doesn't make sense to steer in Shmuel. Said the Gemara, Shmuel Tama de Tana di Don Koma Velele Svirli. Really, Shmuel holds like halacha like Rabbi Yossi that cotton has schia, and therefore the oni cotton could collect after his father Osher, because he's zoiche first for himself and only gives it afterwards to his father. Shmuel in the Mishnah said that a cotton doesn't have a schia, and that's why his Meciah goes to his father. Says the Gemara, that's Shmuel just explaining the Mishnah. But he doesn't hold like the Mishnah. He holds like Rabbi Yossi that cotton does have a schia. Says the Gemara, V'sover Rabbi Yossi cotton isli schia midiraisa. You want to tell me so in Rabbi Yossi a cotton does have a schia, and that's why cotton could be milaket after his father. But now we learned in the Mishnah, Meciah cheresh shoyte v'cotton, if a deaf or emotionally mental, and a cotton find a Meciah, yesh boim mushum gezer play dark shalom. You're not allowed to take it away from them because dark shalom, because otherwise it's going to be big issues. Rabbi Yossi Omer gezel gomer, it's proper gezel. V'omer Rav Chizda, when it says gezel gomer, it means gezel gomer midivreim. It means midirabanan it's gezel gomer, but midiraisa cotton's not zoicha. And what the nafkamina between gezer gomer midivreim and dark shalom? Nafkamina lo yitzir b'dayanim. Do we take away if a cotton finds a Mציעא and someone grabs it from him? So lefi Tanakama, it's only Pnei Darkei Shalom. So if once he stole it, if you'll ask Bezdin, am I allowed to steal it? They'll tell you no. But if you did it, Bezdin won't force you to pay back. And if Rabbi Yossi that's Gezer Gomer Midivrem, Bezdin could force you to pay back what you stole from the cotton. But we could see that even if Rabbi Yossi, it's only Gezer Gomer Midivrem. It's not Midoraisa. Why is that? Because a cotton doesn't have a schia. And before we said that if you're a Rabbi a cotton could be milaket after his father. What's pshat? Elo ma Abaye, a new pshat. In the case of the kid who's milaket after his father, Osuo kemisha olchu boine mushois. Danin gufayu maschid datayu sabr braich brei daheich milaketle. So there is a din that it's a Mishnah, I think, in Peo. It says, Me'ei Mosai kol odo mutorim beleket. So leket, shikha, peh is only mutter for anim. So the Mishnah over there says, when is everyone allowed to take leket? Is mishi yolchu bo nemushos, and there's two pshat, one means nemushos, but basically what it means is once there's nothing left in the field, more or less, that people checked already a few times, so anyone's allowed now to take it. Anything that's left over there, the little bit that's left over there is hefka. So says Abaye, you know why a kid of this worker is allowed to collect after him, even though the kid doesn't have schia? It's not because he's zoicha and he has schia and he gives it to his father. No, really, the kid doesn't have schia. But because everyone knows that this father has his kid who's going after him, so they all give up. It's all their name give up. They say, oh, there's nothing left in the field. This kid's going to pick everything up. And therefore, they miyayish and they say, okay, we give up from this field, and therefore anyone can take from this field. Says the Gemara, Omalei Rav Ada bar Masela Abaye, v'chimuto le'odom le'arbetz Aryeh b'toich sadeu k'di she'iru ani v'yivrochu. Basically, what you're telling me over here is that if I have a field, I'm going to put a big lion on the edge of the field, and anyone who's going to come, he's going to quickly turn away and not come into the field, and then he's going to be misiyash from this field, and then anyone or me, the owner, could pick it up because our name gave up, so now I can pick up all what's left. So I'm kicking away their name. Are you allowed to do such a thing? For sure not. It's forbidden. You're kicking away their name. So over here, you're putting your kid who's going to collect everything, and therefore their name give miyash, and therefore he's allowed to take it. But in the first place, you're not allowed to put the kid over there to make their name be miyash. It doesn't make any sense. Elo marova nupshat. Osu she'ein zoicha kezoicha. The Gemara Nomad Bey says that really a cotton normally is not zoicha. But over here, we made a special takana that cotton could be zoicha. And why is that? My time, anin gufay nichele. That all the anim are happy with this takana that the kids could collect after them, because if the kid's not allowed to collect after them, so the kid won't be allowed to collect. So therefore, because the anim are happy that the kid should collect after them, so even when it's a different ani where it's not them themselves, they understand that it's okay that the kids collect, and therefore Rabbanon will metaken that the kid should be zoicha in such a case. But normally, really, a cotton's not zoicha, and therefore works out very good that Shmuel in the Mishnah says that cotton doesn't have schia, and he paskin like Rabbi Yossi. That's not because a cotton has schia. A cotton doesn't have schia only by this din of leket is a special takana of osu she'ena zoicha kezoicha. So that's one pshat in the Mishnah, that the din is why a Metzias cotton goes to the father, because the cotton doesn't have schia. Upliga de Rab Chia bar Abba de Omer Rab Chia bar Abba Omer Rabbi Yochanan. That doesn't go with what Rab Chia bar Abba said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, because he explained in the Mishnah when it says cotton and godel, he explained it differently. Loi godel mamish doesn't mean a godel over bar mitzvah. Loi cotton mamish, it doesn't mean a cotton under bar mitzvah. Cotton. If you get supported by your dad, even if you're 50 years old, you can still consider the cotton, and because of Eva, because your father supports you, your Mציעא goes to your father. Cotton, and a cotton who's under bar mitzvah and his father doesn't give him food and doesn't support him, so his Mציעא goes to himself. And Rabbi Yochanan explained that the din of the Mishnah has nothing to do with schia. It's a din in Eva that they shouldn't have a fight, that the father says, I support you, and now you found $1 million, I won't gain anything, I fed you every day. So therefore, it depends if you getting supported by your father or not. And when it says cotton and godel, it doesn't mean literally cotton and godel. It means cotton is anyone who's supported by their dad, and godel means anyone who's not supported by their father. The next thing in the Mishnah, Metzias avdoi v'shivchosei aivrim arelu shelatzmon. If your slave or your woman slave who's Jewish, they find a Meciah, goes to yourself. Says the Gemara Kasha, "My lo ye'elo poel v'tanya Metzias poel atzmoi b'med vorm amorim b'zman shoma lo yinakeshi mi'ayoyim adorim mi'ayoyim aval oma lo yasei mi milocha ayoyim Metzios lebal habayis." The Gemara asks the Kasha from the Brisa that it says that if a worker finds something, he goes to himself, and the Brisa continues and says, when is that talking about? If I paid my worker to cut the grass with me, and then he found the Meciah, so he wasn't paid to find the Meciah. So therefore, the Meciah goes to himself. But if I told him, do work with me, and I decide what work to give him, so finding the Meciah is part of the work that I want him to do for me, and therefore, if he finds the Meciah, goes to myself. So l'chora, a slave, he does all my work, whatever I want. He should be like a poil. I told him to do melacha with me. L'chora, Eved's stronger, more mine than a poil. So like a poil, it goes to the balabais. So also by a slave, it should go to the master. Why does it say in the Mishnah that it goes to himself? Omar Abchir Barabba, Omar Rabbi Yochanan, Ocha be'Eved, Noikem Ragil Yois Askinan, She'ein Rabbi Roitze Lishnoisoi Lemelacha. Acheres. Rabbi Chir Barabba says a teretz in the name of Rabbi Yochanan. It's talking about over here in the Mishnah that talking about a slave that's very professional and he has a very talented job and he knows how to make holes and clean diamonds. So therefore, the master of his doesn't want him to do anything but work with the diamonds, because that's a very skilled job that you have to pay a lot for it. And normally, to find a Meciah that's worth more than the job he's doing is not shchiach. So therefore, his master doesn't want him to pick up any Meciah. So if it happened that he found such a expensive Meciah, because his master doesn't want him to deal with findings, he wants him to do his job, so therefore it doesn't go to his master. Rava Omar b'Megbia Meciah melachto yaskina. And it's talking about that he doesn't have to stop doing his work. He could do his work that he's doing, and by the way, pick up the Meciah. So he's not stopping to do the work for balabais. He's continuing to do the work balabais, and it's not avoiding him to pick up the Meciah. While he does the work, he picks up the Meciah, and therefore it goes to himself. And where we said in the Brisa that the poil goes to the master, it's talking about where he stopped doing work. Rav Papa said a whole different teretz. Says Rav Papa Nupshat that the Brisa over there that said if he rented him to cut the grass, it goes to the poil. It doesn't mean just to cut the grass. Even if you told him, do for me any melacha, it's like cutting the grass. And when it says b'medvar mamurim, that if you told him, do with me any melacha, that goes to the balabais, that means when he literally rented him to pick up mitzias. And what's the case? What's the case? Why would you ever take a worker and tell him, go find me mitziah? Mitziah is not shchiach. It's talking about where the river overflowed, and all the fish came up with the river, and then the river quickly went down, and there's tons of fish at the bedside of the river, and someone rents a poil to say, go pick me up the fish. So in that case, the poil can't say, oh, the fish is mine. No, it goes to the balabais. In a normal case, where I rent him a poil and I tell him, do work with me today, if he finds the Meciah, it goes to himself. So therefore, also a slave, the Meciah goes to himself and not to his master. Now, the Gemara is going to discuss a new thing. One of the things we were talking about is a shifcha ivriya, a woman Jewish slave. And it says that the Meciah goes to herself and it doesn't go to her master. Says the Gemara, the shifcha, what are we talking about? If she has two hairs, what is she doing by him? A woman who's a slave, when she becomes a gdoila, the Torah is very feminist. And the Torah says that a man's slave could be a slave even as an adult. But a woman, once she's an adult, she can't be a slave. And she goes out. So therefore, it can't be that she got two saras already. If she's still a ktano, if her father's still alive, we said that Metzias cotton goes to her father, not to the master. If the father passed away, she should become not a slave, should be yoytze lecherus when a father died. The Omer Rish Lakish said, Omer Aryeh koina atmo b'misas ha'av merishus ha'adon mikol v'chomer. Rish Lakish said that the kal v'chomer, if already simonim that no moitzi merishus ha'av or moitzi merishus ha'adon, so for sure, so there is a kal v'chomer over here that if already, sorry, I got cut off. I'm going to explain again. Rish Lakish says that there is a kal v'chomer that, like, if the father of a girl dies when she's a slave, that she's yoytze merishus ha'av, and there's a kal v'chomer for that. So therefore, the Gemara wants to understand this shifcha, that the aveda goes to herself. Why is it talking about? If she's a gdola, she shouldn't be a shifcha. If she's a ktana and her father's still alive, it should go to her father. If her father passed away, she shouldn't be a shifcha. So what case is the Mishnah talking about? Says the Gemara, "Belabi soisiv Rish Lakish." Didn't we slog up Rish Lakish and say that Rish Lakish said it's not true? And therefore, we could say the Mishnah is talking about where she's a ktana and her father passed away, and we don't hold like Rish Lakish that she's yoytze lecherus, and therefore it goes to herself. Says the Gemara, "Neima mehai nami tavet yufta." Let's say lechera from our Mishnah, we have another kasha Rish Lakish, because if Rish Lakish was correct, what's the case in the Mishnah? So the Gemara, really, it's talking about, we could say that Rish Lakish is true. And why is it talking about where she's a ktana? If she's a ktana, it should go to her father if her father's still alive. No, it doesn't go to her, it does go to her father. In the Mishnah, it says Aryeh Shalahem, they goes to themselves. No, when we said Aryeh Shalahem, all what we meant to say is that it doesn't go to the master. But for sure, it goes to the father, not to herself, because she's a ktana. And therefore, it fits in also the Rish Lakish. We could understand the Mishnah, and we don't have a kasha from the Mishnah on Rish Lakish. It says in the Mishnah Vaita, Metzias Ishtoi. And if a woman, they divorced, her Veda goes to herself. It says a Gemara, Girsha, if he divorced a Pshita, obviously it goes to herself. Who should it go to? It says a Gemara, Achem b'mayaskinan b'megureshes v'einu megureshes. So Masafik Gerushim, he threw her a get, and we have a suffix if it's closer to him or closer to her, a suffix if she's megureshes or not. The Omer Abzer Omer Shmuel Kol Mokom Shomu Chachom Megureshes Veinu Megureshes, in every case of suffix Gerushin, Balo Chayev B'Moseh. The husband still has to pay her food and support her and pay for her food. Tama my Omer Rabbanon Meciah Shisha LeBalo. Why did Rabbanon say that a woman gets ha-Meciah, that a woman finds a Meciah, goes to her husband, that there shouldn't be a fight between them, that the husband says, I feed you every day, and now you found something and you'll keep it to yourself, so Rabbanon Metaken that it should go to the husband. Hocha, in a case over here where he already tried giving her get, and it's a suffix if the get's chal, isle eva ve'eva, they're already fighting, so we don't care to say that the Meciah should go to the woman like it should really go to. And therefore, in such a case, this is where the Mishnah is talking about and telling you Chiddush, that even though that the husband still supports his wife and feeds her, because there's already a Sofik Gerushin and there's no problem of Eva because they're fighting already, so therefore the din is that the Meciah goes to the wife. We're going to finish over here because the next mission is a whole new sugya, and we're going to do the Mitzvah Hashem in the next year. It says in Musaf, for Rosh Chodesh, Rosh Chodesh L'Am Chanasoto, Zman Kapar L'Chol Tedoisam. Rosh Chodesh is a Zman Kapar, the mini Yom Kippur. We should all be Zoicha, do tshuva on all the things that we feel we don't do correct, and we should be Zoicha to get closer to Hashem, and we should be Zoicha that should be Nefach, Niyoga, Nesimcha, Me'evel Yontov, and we should be Zoicha in Geula Kroiva B'Me'era B'Yomeinu Amen. Good Chodesh.